Punisher is an album released on June 18th, 2020, and is the second studio LP released by Phoebe Bridgers. Now, before I get into the album review, I'd like to mention that I'm changing my scoring system up a little bit so it fits more my style. So I use Deezer as my primary music app, and on there I normally have a system of um, selecting what songs I listen to and what I don't. Um, if it's good but not great, I like it, I don't love it, then I normally put it into my playlist, just my general music playlist. And if I really love it, if I know I'm gonna go back to it, listen to it again, then I hit the heart and put it in, and it puts it into my favorites playlist. And so I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna do for the music reviews. If I really like the song, I'm going to give it a heart, and if I think it's good but not great, then I'll add it to playlist. If I really don't like it, then I'll disregard it, but most of the songs I'm going to be listening to are probably going to be either playlist or favorites. So yeah, let's get into it. The first song is DVD Menu. So it's hard to fairly judge an intro to an album when it's like a minute long, but this one actually really sets the tone well for this album. It's very moody. I think it's a viola that is just doing these nice downward chords, and then you have the floor creaking in the background, and it just really sets a stage for the rest of the album. But seeing as how it's only a minute and 10 seconds long, it's not like I'm going to be going back and listening to this. If when I'm listening to it in the context of the whole album, then I appreciate it being on there. But if I'm going to include this with the next song, which some intros lead into the next song, this one doesn't really. So to no fault of its own, I'm going to I guess I'll just put it add to playlist, because I'm not really gonna go back and listen to this purposely, but yeah, I'll do add to playlist. That'd be good. Next up is Garden Song. Wow, so what a way to start off the album. This was a very beautiful song, very poetic lyrics, honestly, and shout out to Tony Berg and Ethan Gruska, who were the producers of this album. It's just pleasant to listen to. But yeah, the song is very pretty. It's just an acoustic guitar. On the chorus, there's this bass 2 voice that comes in. It's almost like it's in the back of your mind, the way they mixed it. This one, yeah, I'm gonna give this one I'm gonna put this in my favorites. This was a really good start to this album. Yeah. Next up is Kyoto. So this is kind of a lift early on that I wasn't really expecting, because it started out very moody, and then this is kind of a nice pop rock, just uplifting, really nice. Again, the production is fantastic. I'm definitely going to put this in my favorites. I will listen to this again. I don't know, I'm not sure about the placement in the album. It seems like this would have felt better if they placed this later on, so it feels like you deserve that uplifting pop rock sound more. But you can't really fault it for that. If you're just listening to it by itself, it's a great song. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in my favorites for sure. Um, Next up is the title track Punisher. So thematically, this song really stands out, and you would expect that since it's the title track. So Phoebe Bridgers is a big fan of Elliott Smith, and the title of this and this song is based on her fear of being an overbearing fan if she meets him. This album, the lyrics, and this song in particular, it could seem pretentious if it didn't seem so genuine. Like, it really seems very intentional, the things that she's saying, all of the instruments that are used, the album cover that we'll talk about later, which is beautiful, by the way. But it all seems so genuine. Like, it really means a lot to her. So, but it's not the most interesting song in the world. I'm definitely not going to disregard it, but I'll probably put it on my playlist. Next up is Halloween. So I like this one quite a bit, actually. It's got kind of an eerie tone to it. It's very gentle. It's not in your face. Of course, none of the songs on this album are very in your face. It's more introspective, and it was nice. At the same time, I'll put this one in my playlist. It didn't quite get over the ledge to get into my favorites, but it's nice. The lyrics were interesting. Next up is Chinese Satellite. So this one definitely has my favorite lyrics on the album. There's some songs out there that you just want to take all the lyrics and just put them on your wall so you can read them. When I was listening to this song, I had the album cover in front of me, and that picture perfectly encapsulates this song, and vice versa, because it's just her looking up into the stars. It seems like she's really searching for meaning. Like, there's a longing here for some sort of a purpose. But yeah, it's really beautiful. It's very intimate. Based on the lyrics alone, the song itself is okay. It's more of a folk pop, indie pop, that type of thing. Nothing really special going on, but just lyrically alone, I'm gonna put it on my favorites. It's carrying the whole song. So yeah, next up is Moon Song. So this one seems to be about a relationship she's had with someone and some of the more tender moments of it, and I don't know if it's representative of something else or if it's actually about a relationship she's had. Not the most interesting song on the album, that's for sure, mainly because it kind of diverts away from the narrative that's been set up, but this one's more of a typical indie pop song. But yeah, but it's not a bad song. There's no bad songs on this album. Just like the last album review I did, there's no bad songs on it. But I'm going to put this one into my playlist. And next up is Savior Complex. This is a beautiful song. There's a steel guitar in the background and a violin, and it leads to a sort of a dreamy atmosphere, and yeah, it's just beautiful. And the lyrics are kind of dreamy as well, but yeah, beautiful song. I'm not really good at analyzing songs lyrically, especially after the first listen. Maybe I should work on that, but this one's definitely going in my favorites. Next up is I See You. So this one was interesting. My favorite lyric from this one was, "It's amazing how much you can say when you don't know what you're talking about." There's a lot of lines in this album that you can really apply to a lot of things, but yeah, this was a good song. I'll probably put it in my playlist, but sonically, it all sounds good. Obviously, I've been talking about every song on it except for a couple of them. But next up is Graceland 2. So this one's definitely different. It has a banjo and violins, and it has more of a bluegrass sound to it. Sounds kind of like the First Aid Kit or the Secret Sisters. It's is really pretty. I really enjoyed it. Um, I'll probably I'll probably put this on my favorites. It's a really nice song. Again, I really like the banjo edition. Next up is I Know the End. I love this song. This is such a great way to end this album. The lyrics are probably the most provocative of the album. The ending is just a wall of sound. It sounds like she's just throwing everything at the wall just to drown out her thoughts. Just beautiful. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's just really beautiful. That's easily going into my favorites. It's one of many of the songs on this album that ties into that album cover perfectly. I put a lot of emphasis on an album cover. If this album hadn't had such a great looking album cover, I probably wouldn't have listened to it. But it's just such a beautiful image. It's just her on some alien looking landscape, just looking up at the sky. It's just her, no one else around. It's just really interesting. But yeah, it's just the themes of loneliness, the themes of wanting to be a better person, wanting more out of life. It just, again, like I said, everything feels very intentional on this album. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants the audience to be feeling. She wants them to feel what she's feeling, which is kind of just loneliness and wanting a purpose. And again, it could be pretentious if she didn't sound so genuine. But overall, the album, I highly recommend it. But yeah, like I was saying earlier with Kyoto, it kind of feels like that respite was a little bit early. But if Kyoto had been at the end of the album, then I Know the End wouldn't have hit as hard. So in the end, I think the pacing of the album was really great. Every aspect of this album seems like it was professionally done. It's honestly impressive how fantastic this album sounds after being her second one. I guess I'll wrap it up there. Yeah, thanks for watching.